Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are continuing the series where I talk about a Chanel perfume and give you guys a makeup look inspired by that fragrance. So the fragrance in store today is the Chanel Chance Eau Tendre Eau de Parfum. This is the new one that came out this spring 2019. But before we get any further into the video, please take a second to grab your iced coffee or your hot coffee. Let's have a sip and let's get started. I've already done a few videos in this series, but I took a break for a moment because there were so many new Chanel makeup releases that I was having a hard time keeping up with those, but now I'm getting back into these perfume reviews and makeup tutorial videos. So as I mentioned, this perfume came out in 2019, and the creator of the nose is Olivier Polge. He's the nose of Chanel Perfume House. So the nose is the person who creates the fragrances, and his father, Jacques Polge, is the one who created the fragrance Chance Eau Tendre back in 2010. And for some reason, I thought this fragrance was older than 2010. I didn't realize it was that new, but it's quite nice. Anyway, for the eye look, I'm going to focus mostly on the Chanel Les Indispensables palette. This is the 9 shadow palette that came out this summer. When I think of Chanel Chance Eau Tendre, I think of just very pretty, very feminine, very girly. So I think for the look, we're going to keep it pretty simple, but it's going to be very, very pretty. I think that's the requirement for this fragrance, something very girly and pretty. I think that there's something about this perfume that just embodies femininity at its core. When you spray it on you or your clothing, it just kind of gushes a feminine essence. So I'm going to start off by sweeping that light pink shade all over the lid. I was really surprised when they came out with an eau de parfum version of Chance Eau Tendre, because when I think of the original, the classic, it's an eau de toilette, but there's something so beautiful about that fragrance because I think the word effervescent is the one that comes to mind when I think of Chance Eau Tendre. It's so light and bubbly. It makes me think of champagne bubbles. That's what it makes me think of. I know that there's grapefruit in the fragrance, but it just, in my mind, I think effervescent, I think light, bubbly. That's what it reminds me of. And so when I thought of a eau de parfum version, I was really intrigued because an eau de parfum tends to be more full-bodied, more intense. And so I was really curious how they would pull that off. I'm going to go ahead and mix in the other shimmer color, the one that's more of a cream color. I'm just going to put this on top as well. So there are similar notes in the eau de toilette and eau de parfum version. The grapefruit is still there. I think that is the note that I pick up on the most, is that grapefruit scent. I can almost just like see the grapefruit peeling and just kind of like having those little squirts of juice, just that kind of freshness. And there's also quince, which is a fruit that I am not familiar with whatsoever. I think I only know quince in perfume. I know it's a fruit that you can eat, but it's not something that we have here in Montreal. So it does keep that feminine, fruity essence, the eau de parfum version. Using a tapered brush, I'm just going to place this matte brown shade in the crease, in the outside, like in the outer corner here. But I do have to say that the eau de parfum version also smells much more floral. Like when I think of the original eau de toilette, I know it's considered like a fruity floral, but to me it's more of an effervescent fruity scent than a floral one. I know that there's a floral base there somewhere, but the flowers are not the biggest takeaway for me. In this one though, it does feel more of a floral fruity scent. I think the flowers come through much more. I think the eau de parfum has rose in it, which the eau de toilette does not have. What I find surprising is that the eau de parfum has rose and jasmine, whereas the eau de toilette has jasmine, iris, and hyacinth. So it has more flowers, it has more floral notes in it, but I don't seem to pick up on them as much. So it must just be the formulation and where they place them in the perfume that I don't really pick up on the flowers as much. I'm just going in with a clean blending brush just to buff this out. I'm going to take another blending brush and I'm going to go into the darkest shade in the palette, and I'm just going to gently place this in the crease up here. When I think of Chance Au Tendre, like I mentioned, I think of just pure feminine energy. I think of, like, when I think of the perfume, when I do these reviews, I try to think of what the character is like. I imagine the perfume as a person or as a character, and I try to think of them like how they are. So I think this person is very girly, very feminine. I think this person leans into feminine, girly womanhood. I think this person probably did or does ballet or maybe figure skating, you know, the more feminine type of sports. I think this person is maybe a little bit of a princess. I think at this point I'm basically just describing myself when I wear this perfume. I really feel like perfumes have character, and sometimes I choose my perfume for the day based off of what mood I'm in or what mood I want to be in. So if I feel like a certain perfume has a certain character, then I pick that one for the day. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Chanel Stylo Yeux number 88, and I'm going to do a thin line on the top. Okay, for now I'm going to go ahead and skip to the face makeup. I'm going to go ahead and use my Le Beige Water Fresh Tint. I'm quite sad because, as you can see, I'm halfway through this, so I might have to buy a new one soon. I already did one pump earlier as a base, so now I'm going to go in with a second pump as my foundation. I might do a third, I'll see how I feel. I did do a third pump just to add a bit more coverage. And then for a bit of concealer, I'm going to go ahead and use my Cle De Peau concealer here. This one is in the shade called Almond. I'm going to go ahead and use my Chanel Le Beige Compact, number 20, and I'm going to go ahead and use this as a setting powder. I love this powder so much because it's great as a setting powder, but it doesn't get rid of any of the luminosity. I feel like some powders just mattify everything down too much, but this is really nice. I know that there's also some white musk in this perfume, but I don't know if I really pick up on it as much, because sometimes when I think of a white musk note in a perfume, I think of something more sensual, but this one still feels like a very floral, fruity perfume. I'm going to go into my Guerlain Terracotta Contour and Glow palette, and I'm going to use the bronzer. So if you enjoy the regular eau de toilette, or if you maybe thought it was too bubbly, too light, too sweet, I think you might enjoy the eau de parfum more, because in my mind it's more floral, so it doesn't feel quite as light. It's still a light perfume compared to number 5, let's say, but I don't find that it has the same effervescence as the eau de toilette. So for the blush, I'm going to use my Chanel Le Voyage de Chanel, and I'm going to mix the top 2 shades and just add a bit of blush. So I think that the eau de toilette and eau de parfum are both perfumes that to me seem young at heart. They are not heavy, overpowering perfumes. They are just really nice and light, and I think it's youthful, but not in a number. Like, I don't think it's youthful in you have to be a certain age bracket. I think it's just youthful in spirit. I'm going to go ahead and use my Guerlain Terracotta highlighter stick. Just add a bit of shimmer on my cheekbone here. I'm going to go ahead and place a little bit of this eyeliner on the bottom lashes here and then smudge it out. I'm going to go ahead and finish off my eye look with the NARS Climax Mascara. The grapefruit still comes through a whole lot with the eau de parfum. It isn't quite as fresh or as bubbly. It doesn't make me think of like sparkling champagne bubbles as much as the eau de toilette, but it is still a very nice floral fruity scent. So for the lip, I'm going to top it off with the Cle De Peau Refined Lip Luminizer in number 4, Dahlia. I forgot to mention that the eau de parfum is the exact same shape and format. It's the exact same bottle, except the eau de toilette, the cap is a frosted finish and the eau de parfum is a silver finish. And also the eau de parfum has a bit more of gold detailing around the bottle. So overall, if you like the eau de toilette version, you're going to like the eau de parfum version. I like the eau de toilette version in that you can kind of douse yourself in it because it's so light and airy and it doesn't feel like it's too much. With the eau de parfum, I can kind of see myself getting carried away with it because I'm so used to the eau de toilette that's so light that I can kind of just like spray myself all over. I think you could go overboard with the eau de parfum, but it still feels very floral and fresh and light. It isn't too heavy, even though it does have those white musk notes. It's really not what you pick up on. You pick up on the grapefruit, the quince, maybe a little bit of the rose. You kind of have to search for it. It is not a big departure from the original eau de toilette, and I think some people might like that, some people might not. Maybe some people are expecting something totally new and revolutionary, but I think in that case you would need a completely new perfume, not just an eau de parfum version of the original. So overall, when I compare Olivier Polge to Jacques Polge, Jacques Polge being the previous nose before Olivier, his son, came over. But when I think of Jacques Polge and his creation, he created Allure, Allure Sensuelle, Chance, Chance Au Tendre, Chance Au Fraîche, Coco Mademoiselle. Like, to me, Coco Mademoiselle is almost as iconic as number 5. I think I'm just in that generation. And when I look at what Olivier Polge has created since he's come over, I'm not as much of a fan. Like, he came out with Chance Au Vive, which smells great in the bottle, but it does not hold on me, on my skin, on my pH. It just disappears. He's done Chance Au Tendre, the perfume version. He did the same thing with Coco Mademoiselle. He did an intense version. He's done some more exclusive perfumes at the boutique, like Biarritz, Venise, those ones. Deauville, Missia, those are really nice. But I feel like the ones that are available at the store, I'm not a huge fan of. Like, he did Gabrielle as well. That one came out last year. That one I'm not a huge fan of. It's not my favorite perfume. So, but also he's still brand new. It's only been a few years, and his father was there for a very long time, so he had a long time to, you know, practice his craft and come out with a lot of different fragrances. I just feel like we've seen a lot more extensions of previous perfumes with Olivier. Like, he's done the intense version, the eau de parfum version, and he's only done a few new ones like at the store. Like, there are exclusive ones at the boutiques, but it's not the same as the ones that come out at the counter. So I'm looking forward to seeing new creations, just like completely new, completely out of the box, like something that is like a completely new inspiration. That I think would be very exciting to see, and I'm sure we will see it. Again, he is very new at the house, so I'm sure he'll create something new and exciting soon. So I think that about does it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed today's look. I wanted something not too crazy or over dramatic, something just like very simple, very pretty. I think you could wear this basically to any occasion, any work event. And I think it was important for me to add a pink lip because obviously the perfume is pink, but it looks so feminine and flirty and girly, so I think adding a pink lip is necessary. So I think that about does it for today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please let me know down in the comments what you guys think of today's makeup look. What do you think of the review? What do you think of the new Chance Au Tendre Eau de Parfum version? What do you think of the new fragrances coming out from Chanel? What do you think of Olivier Polge versus Jacques Polge? Let us know down in the comments. If you like today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and also hit the notification bell on the side so you can know whenever I post a new video. And I think that's all I have for you guys for today. So thank you again for stopping by. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.